guys, welcome back to my channel. I am kind of racing against the clock for this video because my camera is about to die and my phone is about to die, but I had to charge it as quickly as I could because I have work soon, so I'm trying to pop out this video as quickly as I possibly can. So it's actually going to be a two-part video because I got a lot more questions than I thought I was going to get, so I asked you guys on YouTube and then Instagram to ask me any questions that you wanted me to answer in like a Q&A style video. So that is what I will be doing. This video is going to be the YouTube questions, and then the next one will be the Instagram questions. So I will answer them right now. So the first question is, okay, whose cute little nose does this belong to? Give her hugs. This cute little nose belongs to Jinxie. And how often during the week do you let them free roam, and what is their favorite thing to get into trouble over? Cutito is about to fall off the bed. So they free roam all day, other than at night. The only time they're ever in the cage is at night, or if I'm... Actually, I would say never, because I always have somebody watching them, my sister or whoever. So as long as somebody's home with them, or even if nobody's home with them, they're always out in this room, and then at night they'll be in the cage. The only time I could think of when they would be in the cage is if I'm like cleaning, or if I'm somewhere that's very far away, then I would have them in the cage more often just because I am a farther proximity away from them, if that makes sense. But they free roam all day long. The only time they're in the cage is at night. The next question is, what's the best litter? So I use paper pellets and wee-wee pads, honestly. Like, I do not advise to use cat litter because that can get stuck in their nose, cause respiratory problems, get stuck in their paws. It's clumpy. It's just not good for ferrets overall. They have a super sensitive respiratory system, and cat litter is just a recipe for disaster for that. So yeah, I recommend paper pellets, newspaper pellets. I used to use like wood ones, which helped a lot with the smell because they were like pine scented, but I read on the packaging that it's a carcinogen, and which means can cause cancer. So I was like, okay, not using that one anymore. So I just went back to paper pellets and they work fine. Next question is, are you going to have more ferrets, or are you okay with the number you have? So I do not want any more ferrets at the moment. In the future, I would obviously want more ferrets when the sad time comes that my little babies are no longer with me, but I think my sweet spot is 4, because when I had Narnar and Miruku, as much as I love them with my whole heart and wish so badly that they were still here with me, when I had 6, it was just like constant stress, constant anxiety that something was gonna go wrong, a ton of money, so many vet bills, especially when they're all around the same age too. As they're older, it's just like you're constantly waiting for the next bad thing to happen, which sucks because you want to enjoy them and how much you love them and all the time you can spend with them, but like at the same time you're just constantly anxious about the next thing that's gonna happen, and then worrying about having to pay for it. And plus 6 ferrets is so stinky, they poop so much, and that doesn't really bother me, but the average person, the less chickadee doos, the less ferrets, the less poop, the less stink, the less mess, less money. It's just overall less stress, I guess, in your life. If you could get another animal, what would it be? I have always wanted a brown skunk. I know that wanting an animal for its aesthetics, its color, is stupid, and that would never be a reason to get them, but I just think that they are the cutest things in the history of the universe, and I really want one day. I will admit that I'm not too versed on the care of skunks. I really honestly don't know much about them at all, but aesthetic wise, just if I could have a dream pet, it would be a brown skunk, a light brown skunk. I think they're the cutest things in the universe. I also used to really want a blue-tongued skink. So they're like these big, I don't even really know what they are, big like reptile lizard type things, and I just think they're so cute also, and I really want one. I really want more reptiles. I mean, I have Kyle upstairs, my gecko. I really want a skunk. I forget what they're called. They're those like I don't remember what they're called, but with the little faces. They always look like they're smiling. They're really cute. I think they're adorable, but I've always wanted snakes too. I wanted just like a little ball python, I think they're called, the little ones. I could be completely wrong and that's not what it's called, but when I went to a store one time and I wanted to hold one, the woman was like, oh, they're striking, and I was like, yeah, it's fine, or be careful, he might strike you, and I was like, yeah, it's fine, he already did, and she didn't even realize that he already bit me in the hand, but it was fine, didn't hurt that bad. So yeah, I would want a snake one day as well. what food products do you give them? So I give them grinds, obviously. They get, the majority of their grinds are from Raw Feeding Miami, like I have said in a lot of videos. I just really like their selection. I also give them a bunch of freeze-dried meats, a bunch of dehydrated meats that I mentioned in the video before about treat products that I like to give them or that I recommend. That's pretty much it. They get raw meats, they get eggs, they get smelts, they get fish, mostly smelts. I don't even know. I stopped giving them salmon oil just because it goes rancid so bad, and there's other ways that you can get like those fatty acids more naturally rather than having something in a bottle. Yeah, that's pretty much it. They just get meat and eggs and fish and all things that a carnivore should be having. Do the ferrets affect your dating life? So I'm a very private person. I say this as if I had like a ton of people following me. But I've actually had a boyfriend for the past 8 years. I mean, we've had our ups and downs, don't get me wrong. That's what happens when you start dating someone when you're 17. We've had like moments where we were broken up for a bit, but whatever. So I actually got I got Narnar, well, I got all of them when I was with him like years ago. And I'm still with him, but years ago, they actually lived at his house for a while until they eventually came over to my house. So my personal dating life, no, they haven't affected to an extent. However, our 2 cats live at his house and he's looking to get an apartment soon. And if I wanted to, obviously I would be spending time there. And if I wanted to spend a lot of time there, that affects my life, as I will have to go back and forth because the ferrets are gonna have to stay here because he's having trouble finding an apartment allowing him to take the 2 cats, let alone 4 ferrets. And also we realized that we think he's allergic to the boy ferrets because he gets really itchy when he holds them. And there's actually a thing, I did a bunch of research on it, that the male ferrets, something in their urine causes an allergic reaction. So in the future, if we were to obviously stay together and end up living together, I would most likely have to, in the future, obviously after my little babies now unfortunately pass, I would probably have to just get female ferrets in the future, which is fine with me. But yeah, so my personal dating life, no, but I imagine it would affect somebody's dating life. Also, if somebody doesn't like how much they smell, how much work there. And we've also actually gotten into arguments about the financial aspect of it because I am a crazy person and I would do anything to save them, and so would he, but I will drop like my entire life saving. Sorry, my camera died. I don't know where I left off with that, but basically what I was saying was he is actually a lot more logical than I am and more realistic, I guess, and I'm more like, I need to do everything to save everything. And he's a huge animal lover too. He loves the ferrets. But for example, like with Midugu, we ended up spending like thousands and thousands of dollars when his survival rate was extremely low, and I just like lose my mind in those situations, and I'm like, I will spend any amount of money that I could humanly possibly spend to save them, even when it's realistic that to not do that because the outcome isn't likely to be in our favor, if that makes sense. And so he's much more logical about that stuff than I am, and it does cause like issues and fights sometimes because I am a crazy person, but it all gets resolved, and it's good to have that balance. How do I get over the stress of ferrets? I'm constantly stressed over their health, giving them the best life and not doing enough for them. I'm always having minor panic attacks every time they cough, sneeze, or any other normal function, even though they're healthy. I can absolutely relate to that. I love them and want everything for them, but gosh, it's exhausting. To be honest, I'm not sure if I ever get over it. They are like my children, and does a parent ever get over the stress of wondering if their child is okay? I'm not sure. I will let you know when I figure that one out. No, but in seriousness, I guess my best advice, and something that I have to constantly tell myself, is just like, genuinely, you can only do the best or you can just do the best that you can, you know? Like, if you know that you're giving them the best life that you humanly possibly can, that's really the only thing you can do. Obviously, just make sure you are constantly checking them. Like, I will give them, obviously I'm not a veterinarian, oh my gosh, can I speak on this video? Veterinarian, but I do a lot of research and I know generally what their bodies are supposed to feel like. So every so often I will just like do a full physical, I call it, even though I'm not a vet, like I said, and just like feel their bodies, feel their lymph nodes. I'll check their teeth. Pina is my subject because she happens to be climbing, but I will just like palpate their stomach, kind of check their little feeties, check their teeth. Of course she's not gonna let me right now. I usually like to check their teeth when they're sleeping. because they generally don't care. I'll lift their little gums, I'll look, or if they're yawning, I'll look in there just to make sure there's nothing abnormal. I'll check their ears, I'll check their eyes, all that stuff. And that usually helps because at least for the most part, you can catch things early. Like for example, with Nar's lymphoma, the moment I felt his lymph nodes even like a tiny bit enlarged, he was rushed right into the vet. Same with Toggy when he was dragging his hind legs. Like you just have to be very observant, I guess, is the best advice I could give you. But honestly, the stress, I'm not sure ever goes away because they're like your children. But I mean, something to help you out maybe would be to manage your money better, or not better, I don't know how you manage your money, but manage your money in general. Make sure you have a savings, so at least you're not constantly like freaking out if something happens, how you're gonna pay for it. Like try to save money and just make sure that you are prepared the best that you can. What kind of treats do you use to prevent hairballs, and where do you buy them? So I don't use treats to prevent hairballs, I use eggs. I like to give them eggs maybe once or twice a week. I love to give them quail eggs. I'll usually give them like 2 or 3 each time I give them, which is probably like twice a week, or chicken eggs or duck eggs. Eggs are really good for just like lubricating the digestive tract, making sure everything passes through smoothly, and they are great. This is the second time that my camera died in this video already. What I was saying was eggs are a great natural hairball remedy. Next question is, biggest challenge relating to ferrets and what you have done, attempted to resolve or get over them. So, I don't even know which route to go with this. The first one would be finances. I did not realize when I first got them how expensive they would be, just because obviously I am going to do everything to make sure that they are good and well taken care of. So I bring them to the vet each year for their annuals, for their little checkups, and they are prone to so many illnesses. So I have to get their prednisolone each month. I've rushed Nar to the vet for an emergency surgery when he had an earplug, Kirito when he got ECE, Toggy for all of, Midiku for all of his spleen issues, Toggy to give Midiku a blood transfusion, and Jinx in the beginning for her Helicobacter, and Jinx has adrenal, Jinx has insulinoma. Pina is my somehow perfect little bean, and I hope that she remains that way forever and ever because that would make me really happy. But yeah, the first one I guess would just be financial challenges. I highly recommend just saving a ton of money if you possibly can if you are planning to get ferrets, especially if you're getting numerous. And probably my second challenge would be, I was gonna say their diet, switching them to raw, but honestly, not to brag or anything, but it really wasn't that much of a challenge for me at all. It was pretty easy to switch them. So it took like 3 weeks to switch 5 to 6-year-old ferrets to a raw diet. So maybe in the beginning that was a challenge, just like learning exactly how to make sure that everything was balanced and well, you know, prepared and stuff like that, just because it was kind of hard in the beginning. But yeah, I don't know, I guess not that, but maybe also just how much time and responsibility they are. Like they really are like having any other pet, if not more of a responsibility, just because they're very needy and they're very fragile. But I guess the ways to resolve those things would just be to make sure you have a savings, make sure you work hard, obviously, for your animals. Like I keep saying, they are my babies. The challenges of a diet was just be to do a ton of research. Like I got certified in feline nutrition because I was so interested in it that I took an entire course on it, and that has helped me a lot. And then the third is to just, I guess, just do a lot of research again know what you're getting yourself into before you bring them home as pets, just because they are a lot of work. Next question is, how did you decide to get your first ferret, and what are your favorite and least favorite things about having ferrets? So the way I decided to get a ferret was I actually wanted one for like my entire life, but before my parents got divorced, my mom would always say things like, you can get one when you're 13, or you can get one when you're 18, but they got divorced when I was 16 and I live with my dad. And when I turned 18, me and my boyfriend pretty much just went to Petco, and I was like, I want him, I'm getting him, because I like to say that I was pretty financially stable since I was like 17. Not so much my own choosing, just a lot of family financial issues, but I learned how to work hard to save my money, so I like paid for them from the beginning. So when I got Narnar, Narnar obviously was my first one. I went to Petco, I was like, I want him, and so I got him, brought him home, and the rest is history. And then I got Jinxie right after that. She was actually Narnar's Petco mate. Not to say that I support Petco buying from Petco, but that's obviously where I got them many years ago. And I also saw this really adorable picture of a ferret wearing little bunny ears for like an Easter picture, I think on Instagram in like 2012, and I was just like, that's what kind of ignited my desire to get them again when I had wanted them when I was younger. And then I saw this picture and I was like, oh my god, that is the cutest creature I've ever seen in my life, and that is what made me want to get them. And then my favorite things about them is they're the sweetest animal I've ever met, like genuinely from the bottom of my heart. All the pets I've had in my life, I've had hamsters, I've had gerbils, I've had turtles, cats, dogs, ferrets, I've had beetles as pets, a gecko, fish. I don't think I'm forgetting anything, but ferrets are the most rewarding, they're the most loving, they've exceeded all of my expectations, and they're so funny too. Like they have such personalities, they've just exceeded my expectations on what type of pet I thought they would be before I got them. They're just like the best. My least favorite thing would probably be just how needy they are, but I really don't mind that, honestly, but just how it is like having a kid sometimes, and so it is hard for me to, if I want to go out with my friends or like do anything, I have to make sure that they are taken care of, obviously, and that somebody that I trust is able to take care of them when I'm gone. And then obviously just like financial stuff, like I said before, and just they're stinky. They poop a lot, but I don't care about that. And last question is, what do I do with my ferrets if I have to travel somewhere and can't take them? Do you have a trusted friend to watch them for you? What about feeding when you are away? I love your videos. It always makes me happy to see your cute fuzzy babies. Thank you. I appreciate that you love watching my videos and that they make you happy. Yes, so my trusted person when I travel is my sister. If she's not with me, it's my boyfriend. If he's not with me, if he's with me, it's my brother. And then I actually have a really good friend, Amanda, who lives very close to me as well. She hasn't had to watch them yet, but if that were to be the case, I would absolutely trust her. She has 3 of her own, and yeah, I'm lucky enough to have people around me that love animals and love my ferrets just as much as I do, so I trust all of them. They all know how to feed them the way that I do it and give them their medicine, so I am pretty lucky. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Same with feeding. They all know how to do it. I have told them, my brother, boyfriend, and sister. Amanda knows how to do all of it. She feeds her ferrets raw as well, but they all know how to do the raw diet and how to administer medicine and how to do all the care that I do, so that is who I trust. And that concludes this Q&A. Other than my camera dying 3 times, I'm just not even gonna bother trying to elaborate on anything else because it has died 3 times throughout this video, so lesson learned that I have to make sure it is fully charged before I even start recording. But I hope you enjoyed my answers. I hope this gave you some insight into my life, my care, my whatever, and part 2 will be up when I record it, which is the questions that you guys asked me on Instagram. I will hopefully get to that one within a few days, but no promises because I'm going snowboarding tomorrow and I don't feel like recording, but I will probably do it sometime in the next week. And then I'm also going to film my Valentine's Day cage themed video, which I'm so excited about. I got so much stuff. I went all out for that one this year and I'm really excited to record it. So that will also probably be in the upcoming week and I will post it before Valentine's Day. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this video and I hope that I will see you next video. See you next time. Okay, have a great day. Bye.